Okay, so today we're going to learn how to add color to the picture. You guys should have your line drawing finished. You should also still have your original photo present so that we could source from the photo. So before I do any of that, I'm going to merge all my layers of the drawing together. So not the photo layer, but the actual drawing. I'm going to go to the three dots on the right. I'll press select multiple. I'll select or highlight all of the drawing layers that I want to merge together. So there's 4. Go back to the 3 dots on the right and then press merge selected. I like to do this because it's just easier to not have so many layers. Now we only have 2 layers. The photo layer, we actually don't need the bottom layer, so we can delete that. So now we have the photo layer and we have the drawing layer. Between them, I'm going to add a new layer. So you want the new layer to be underneath the drawing layer, but over your original photo. I think I showed you guys how to source from a photo, but in case you forgot, you go to the left side, there's your eyedropper tool. You just take your dial that's on the screen and you source over the color that you want to select. And what it'll do is it'll show you on the side what color you selected. And then as simple as just painting in the color wherever you want to see it. So you can keep the smoothing up, or for this part, it's actually not as important to have the smoothing at 100. You could put it a little lower. Size can be a little bigger because you're just going to go underneath the drawing. So it doesn't have to be like super slow. You still want to be neat, but it's not as hard as the actual drawing part that you guys have already finished. You guys can decide how much detail you want to add, because like I'm not going to add the little diamonds on her headband, mainly because of time. I'm just going to go a little faster. If you want to add like the folds and the wrinkles and all the stuff that you see in the clothing, it's going to take a little bit more time, but you guys still have a few days to do these. So you have to decide that on your own. Obviously, the more detail, the better, but also think about just like we don't have forever to do these. So think about what you're capable of, how much time you're willing to dedicate outside of class, and then you can decide how much of the detail you want to do. For the hair, her hair is two-toned. It's not like all one color, so what I'll do is I'll probably just do an overall color first and then maybe later add in some low lights. So if you have 2 tones in your hair as well, you can do the same thing. I'm gonna just do a basic blonde, and then later on I'll go back in and do low lights. So the reason I'm not using the paint bucket is because my hairlines are not solid. They don't have like a solid shape. They're all individual lines. So if I were to use the paint bucket, it would just kind of take over the whole paper. So I'm just doing my best to just use the paintbrush. And as I go, I'm making the brush bigger and smaller. So just so that I can get into the areas that I need to fill in. In my document that I posted on Schoology, there is an option to use the oil paintbrush, which is more texture and it looks more realistic. This is more like flat and cartoony. So if you like the way it looks with texture, you could follow that example. However, it takes longer, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so I'm done with the hair. I can turn off the photo to see what it's looking like. If I missed anything, I can go back in with my brush and just fill it back in. I already showed you guys like the features of the eyes and the eyebrows. One thing I am going to suggest, okay, so if I were to source from my photo was actually taken in the sunlight, so the skin tone is not terrible. Like it would actually look, it would look okay if I used this color. But you guys, a lot of you guys took your photos inside with not the greatest lighting, and sometimes lighting can change skin, especially if it's like indoor lighting. So what I would suggest is to go to Google and look up the word skin tone palette, and it will give you guys a lot of options. You're just gonna find one that looks closest to your skin, save the photo, and then open it in Fresco. And then if you remember what I said about the palettes, once you open a photo, it automatically will generate the options in your colors, so your saved colors. So you don't have to source with the eyedropper tool, but you can if you don't want to guess like which color is which. And then you can just go ahead and delete that layer because you won't need it anymore. So those are my best tips for you guys for coloring in. You have about 2 days to color, which I think will be enough, but if we need to add more time, we can. And then you guys know how to save it. So I don't think there's anything else. Obviously, I'm not done. You can see what it's looking like. Oh, the background. I'll do another video for the background. So for now, just worry about your hair, your skin, your clothing. Background, don't do yet. We'll do that in a different way. And then that's it. Good luck.